You probably remember this guy years ago when he used to call in on the show. He started when he was like 9 or 10. I forget how old he was then. He's 16 now. He's a man. It's my cousin Trey, who joins us via Zoom as we continue on Sports Talk. So this is kind of nice. I met you guys years and years ago, had dinner with the family and hadn't seen you ever. And we kept in touch. You called in on the show. You had some fun with us. And now we're Zooming. Isn't it nice that we finally come into the 21st century, the way we should probably, or 22nd century, whatever it is?
Yeah, man, it's cool to have this way to talk to people. So, you can talk face to face, even if you're not really face to face. I like it a lot.
You look different than the last time I actually laid eyes on you and saw you.
Yeah, a lot bigger. Definitely a lot bigger.
So what are you currently at these days, Trey? Tell everybody where you're at.
6'3", 228.
Nice. Wow. 6'3", 228. You're a lineman.
Yes, sir. Defensive lineman, hopefully.
Good. All right. So now here's the thing. I know you also like basketball. So are you going to try to play basketball as well? Or are you going to stick to football this year? What's the sport of choice for you right now?
So honestly, I tried playing basketball and I got cut. I'm really just not that good. Tall, but I haven't trained as much for basketball. Football is really my sport. It's where I play the best at. So that's what we're going for.
Can't you just at 6'3", just muscle people out? You'll foul out in about 5 minutes, but at least you'll be able to get your money's worth and get some position down low.
Yeah, I tried last year, but there's a kid like a JV kid. He was in 8th grade last year. He was 6'5", and he just absolutely bodied me out of the way. So I think football is the sport for me.
All right, so 6'3", 228. I love that. My listeners are going to love that since they've been following you all these years. And you always come on. I love this. Here's what I love about you. You pitch me ideas. It's great. And you pitched me this idea a couple of days ago, and you're like, hey, can I come on and talk about the quarterbacks drafted in the first round and, what I think they'll do for their careers in this season? And I said, yeah, it's a good idea. We haven't really done that one. So I like that. It'd be a nice change of scenery from our normal topics. So why don't we get things started since there were 3 quarterbacks taken in the top 3 picks in the draft last month. And let's talk a little bit about each of them and what you think is going to happen, starting with Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay. So Trevor Lawrence, the first, and I have an issue with him right off the bat.
Good. I like that. Controversy.
He doesn't tend to have the maniacal obsession with NFL football that you see most quarterbacks having. He doesn't really seem to care all that much. I know he clarified in an interview when he said that he does have passion for the game, but it doesn't seem to be as much as people like Zach Wilson. So that would be my first issue.
Okay, so obviously the first problem right now is that he's good, but he's not obsessed with the game. And you think that in order to be one of the all-time greats or to be a great one, you have to be obsessed with the game.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I mean, if you see Tom Brady, he even made his own diet to make sure that he was always at the top of his game. Mm-hmm. So really, I just don't see that kind of dog in Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, so that being said, despite the fact that he is not a football junkie, what do you think he'll be like as quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
So this is where I start to get into his college game. So when I look at his college game, he tends to rush throws and predetermine who he's throwing it to a lot. So he'll look at a receiver and he'll say, I'm throwing it to you. And he doesn't look anywhere else on the field. He just tends to just throw at the guy that he wants to throw to, which is okay in college because, you've got a lot of good talent on the Clemson Tigers. But in the NFL, it's a whole different scenario.
So if that's the case, how was this guy considered the landslide choice for the top overall quarterback prospect in the draft?
Honestly, I haven't been able to figure that out. When I look at his tapes and I compare him to quarterbacks like Zach Wilson, like Trey Lance, there's just I don't see how he could have been selected number 1. I wouldn't have for sure.
So you've got Trevor Lawrence as a bust in the NFL.
Not a bust. I would say mid-tier to bottom tier, maybe a bust, but it's like kind of sort of. It all depends on the talent around him.
And hot takes from cousin Trey today on Sports Talk. I like this. I do. So, all right, so you're coming off firing. So you're thinking that, he's not your favorite. He's not it. But what about Zach Wilson, the new Jets savior at number 2 overall?
I love Zach Wilson. Everything about him. He loves football. I think he even made a joke where he had like a ring and he said he was married to the game. I love that. That's awesome. That's good passion in the game. He's highly talented running the ball. He's got a 4.84 40, which is pretty good for a quarterback. And at pro day, he hit like a 60-yard fade pass. That was insane. That was such talent from a quarterback that just got out of college. 11-1 at BYU is good. Obviously, he didn't play the best opponents, but it's a good measurement. And then the only downside I have is he was drafted to the Jets. So besides that, really, I don't have many problems with Zach Wilson.
Why is being drafted by the Jets a downside?
It's the Jets. Like, it's just their team has been close to talentless. They had Robbie Anderson. He's gone now. It's just it doesn't look good to be drafted to the Jets. But I think they're going to focus a lot more on people around him as long as he proves himself to be a good quarterback. So I would say for the first couple of years, he might be rough. But after that, I think he'll have a pretty good career. And I would actually say that he's going to be the best quarterback in the draft, high tier to top tier quarterback.
Do you know who my favorite team in the NFL is?
Who do you got?
Who do you think it is? Who do you think my favorite team is? You better believe it's the Jets. Been a long time Jet fan. I liked your hot take on the Jets. I don't disagree with a lot of that stuff, but I also know what a great quarterback can do for a football team. You look at Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, and you see the impact he's had, and then you see the impact that some of these other great quarterbacks have had on franchises that aren't always the top, teams in the league, and they've been winning. So let's see what happens. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. If you like Zach Wilson the most, by the way, you realize that on draft night, Zach Wilson's mom was trending more than Zach Wilson was.
Look, man, Zach Wilson's mom is just very out there, and I think Zach Wilson is just a quiet kid that just really loves football. And I think that's fine. Especially, if he's not trending, that might actually be better for team chemistry. He's not super out there. He's nice and reserved.
All right.
But so
far, you like Zach Wilson. You like his. Do you think he will be putting up good numbers his rookie season with the Jets?
Rookie season, I'm not sure. It's all kind of up to how good he really is and how good he can play. It maybe not. I can't really say.
Well, is he gonna be better or worse than Sam Darnold?
Oh, better. Yeah. Okay. No, by far. Yeah.
I mean, I think you could be better than Sam Darnold.
You're probably not wrong.
I'm telling you. All right. My cousin Trey is back with us here on Sports Talk, giving us the lowdown on his thoughts on the first rounders at quarterback in the 2021 NFL draft. All right, you finished the first two. We got through Trevor Lawrence, who you think is going to just tank it and be just a dud. And then Zach Wilson, you like, assuming the Jets can figure out what to do with him. Now, let's go to 3 overall. Trey Lance, when the Niners traded up, took him at 3. Your thoughts on that pick? Do you like Trey Lance?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So he's a highly talented scrambler. From what we've seen, even though he only had 1 year of college football, he's a pretty accurate thrower. But that being said, he only had 1 year of college football, and it was in the FCS. So sort of, a little bit of a question mark. We don't know what he can do against people that are highly talented. Though he was drafted to the Niners, and they're already contenders. Last year, they just had a lot of people hurt. Now that they're back, he's probably been drafted the best situation out of all of these picks. So I think he's going to have a really good first couple of years. I would expect him to be high caliber quarterback. For the most of his career, he's probably going to be mid-tier to high tier.
Do you think that the 49ers will play him as a rookie? Because remember, they have a very deep quarterback, roster right now, and they haven't made any trades yet. So do you think that he'll end up still getting the starting spot to begin the season?
I don't know if he'll get the starting spot to begin the season, but I have a feeling that by mid to late season, they'll start trying to put him in. If what I think will happen is the 49ers will play really well, as they usually do, and they'll probably try to give Trey Lance reps near the end of the year in games that don't really matter, just to test them out, and then by the second year, he'll probably be stuck in there at quarterback.
Right. Fair enough. Let's go to the Bears at 11. They traded up and got themselves Justin Fields out of Ohio State. Many thought Fields was right there with Trevor Lawrence as the second best quarterback in the draft. He went 4th. Your thoughts on that?
He's a bust. He's going to be terrible. He's going to be the worst quarterback in the draft. There's a reason for
that. Why do you say that? What? Again, he's a Bear. I understand, but he was unbelievable in college at Ohio State. Had spectacular seasons.
So I have 2 issues.
Okay.
Firstly, he's from Ohio State. That's the first issue. Ohio State quarterbacks historically are just not that great. But the second issue, and this is the big one, his throwing motion is terrible. His arm goes underneath his elbow, and that's like a quarterback sin. That's the one thing you don't want a quarterback to do. The last two quarterbacks to do that were Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen. You don't want to have that throwing motion. He's got super, super talented scrambling ability. I think, he ran a 4.44, which is nuts. That's insane. That's almost as fast as RG3's. But that being said, drafted the Bears, OSU quarterback, throwing motion, all that combined, low to mid-tier quarterback, probably the worst out of the five, unless he can fix that throwing motion.
All right, so you're saying they've got to reinvent his delivery in order to really get the most out of him. Otherwise, it's just going to be a disaster.
Absolutely. His throwing motion it can't do the job.
Okay, fair enough. And by the way, we're recording this, so we'll look back on this another year or two from now, and we'll see if your predictions are worth a salt, or if we're never going to bring you on again to talk about the draft. So we'll see. Thoughts on what the Patriots did getting Mac Jones in the first round? He was the 5th and final quarterback taken, 15th overall.
Okay, Mac Jones. He's an extremely talented thrower. He's great at throwing the football. However, out of the pocket, he does nothing. He's absolutely terrible out of the pocket. But he's got a quick release, and he's also a national champion, so he knows what it's like to play on the big stages and with all the pressure on him, so that's good. The only thing is he had a bunch of talent on Alabama, and I'm just not sure how he'll handle himself without the amount of talent that he had on Bama. Besides Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and his running back, he doesn't really have the amount of talent Alabama had. They had 2 first-round wide receivers. It's great. So what I would say about him, mid-tier to high-tier, he'll be about as good as the talent around him, like a Jared Goff type, and that's what I would say about him.
So he's not the next Tom Brady?
No.
If we summarize the 5 quarterbacks based on your analysis, I think you have Zach Wilson 1. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking long-term careers. Careers.
Yes.
Zach Wilson 1. I probably would then say Trey Lance 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on what I just heard, you would then have, I would probably go Mac Jones 3, Trevor Lawrence 4, and Justin Fields 5.
Yes, that's my list.
Long term.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the beauty of this is we get to revisit this. Now, remember, you came on the show last time, and you were telling me about how the Indianapolis Colts were going to the Super Bowl.
Dude, I shouldn't have invested that much in the dark horse pick, but I love that team, and they didn't go far. I thought they would. They
didn't. Now, you also like the Titans and the Chiefs. So, the Chiefs, hey, I mean, that was the trendy pick. I get that. You and I both like the Packers, and we all saw what happened there. So, sometimes you're hosting. Nobody would have expected old man Brady to do what he did. So let's be honest. That man has defied Father Time all these years. And maybe you need to start getting on TB12 as you want to play football and use that whole diet to get yourself going.
And I'll give you another hot take about Tom Brady while we're at it. I think he's going to be the first quarterback and team to go 20-0. I don't think they're going to lose.
You don't think the Bucs will lose this year? You're saying 20-0?
No. Yes. They brought back all 22 of their starters. That never happens. And Tom Brady's now had a year to get his chemistry up with his players. It's gonna be dangerous for any team going against him.
I like the 20-0 prediction, considering he was one win away from having that undefeated season years ago until the Giants beat him in the Super Bowl and ended that perfect campaign that Brady and the Patriots had. So now you're finishing this on a hot take, 20-0 for Brady and the Bucs. All right.
Absolutely.
Very nice. Well, listen, this has been a treat for me. I'm hoping my listeners enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been a lot of fun talking to you, Cousin Trey. And don't be a stranger. Let's get you back on the show and talk from time to time via Zoom here so we can see you, okay?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Say hi to your family for me, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.